everybody. I'm thrilled that we are all here together virtually for the 22nd amazing annual Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Awards. My name is Sherry Friedman, and some of you know me, and some of you know that I've been away from the Princess Margaret for the last 3.5 years. This is my first week back. Already crying. It's been 3 days of constant tears of joy, and I didn't think the week could get any better. And then it was asked to host these wonderful awards, which have been such a highlight for me every single year. So, as many of you know, the Kirsh Awards was established to provide a unique place for patients and their families to say thank you to someone special on their care team, and an opportunity to honor Princess Margaret Cancer staff and volunteers for their dedication to treating our patients and their families with compassion and exemplary care. For over 20 years, the Kirsh family have been constant supporters of the Princess Margaret in so many ways, and I'd like to thank the entire family for their extraordinary commitment to the Princess Margaret and to the Kirsh Awards program. And I have to add that it's been my absolute pleasure to be at every Kirsh Awards ceremony throughout the 14 years I was at Princess Margaret, and to watch the grandchildren grow up and go from kids running around the 7th floor atrium and Paula saying, "Stop the kids from running around," to now they're all accomplished young adults. So that has been an extra added benefit of the Kirsh Awards. Our Cancer Center staff work tirelessly to provide the kind of care that improves the lives of our patients and their families when faced with a cancer diagnosis. Today, we celebrate those who have been nominated and selected as this year's award winners for demonstrating an outstanding commitment to humanitarian care and beyond. This is something that really is part of the special sauce that is the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre. I am happy to welcome Dr. Keith Stewart, VP Cancer, Medical Director of the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, to say a few words. Dr. Stewart, over to you.
Thank you, Sherry, and welcome back. I thought you were going to age yourself and see you've been here for 22 years of the awards, but only 14, so we'll give you a break. Good evening, everybody, and this is indeed a special event for the Princess Margaret Cancer Centre every year. It is really a chance to celebrate the care and compassion our staff provide to our patients and to reward excellence in that regard. And it is the 22nd year of these awards, which is just amazing. And we do want to take some time to express our gratitude for the vision of the late Gerald Kirsh and his wife Paula, and for their children Jennifer, Joel, and Jeff, for helping to establish this award. I want to thank Joe as well for working with us as we administer and adjudicate the awards each year. Unfortunately, we're virtual again this year, but we are grateful that the technology we have has allowed us to continue this tradition. It's very special for us. It is a very unique award that is really the one time of the year we get to go beyond our traditional definitions of research and clinical care and look at the human side of cancer care more directly. We deeply appreciate those families and their families and staff who are thoughtful enough to submit nominations. And I want to mention that it's a great honor to be nominated at all. And tonight we're celebrating all of our nominees, not just those who actually ended up winning the award in this particular year. And some of our nominees have been frequent flyers and have been nominated many times over many years for their compassion and care. So we're here to celebrate all of those people tonight, and it was a very difficult competition, as it is every year, to adjudicate who was nicer than somebody else, because at the end of the day, everybody has stepped up and done something special for their patients. So congratulations to everybody who's on here, who was nominated, and it's particularly to the winners, and thank you once more to the Kirsh family.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Stewart, for your kind words and for making time to join us today. Thank you to the Kirsh family, Paula, Joel, Jeff, Jennifer, spouses, grandchildren, the whole gang, for sharing this special day with us to honor the legacy of your dad, Gerald. Each year, we have the pleasure of meeting and hearing from a member of the Kirsh family, and today it is Erin Libo. So Erin is Jennifer and Ronnie Libo's daughter and Paula and Gerald's granddaughter, and she is friends with my next door neighbor, so I do get to see her frequently, which is a real perk for me. So without further ado, Erin, I hand it over to you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 22nd Annual Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award Ceremony. This is the second year it is happening virtually and hopefully the last, although it's way less scary giving this speech right now. My name is Erin Libo and I'm honored to be able to tell you about my grandfather Gerald Kirsh and the reason that we are here today. The Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Awards are held every year to honor the amazing people that work at Princess Margaret. First, a bit about my grandfather. Although I never got to meet him, I'm lucky to have heard so many stories about him from my family. He was born and raised in Toronto, and as a boy, he lived in the neighborhood just behind the hospital. In 1998, at the age of 63, he came back to the neighborhood as a Princess Margaret patient. If you were to ask my family, they would tell you that he was a person who loved the simple things in life. He was about quality and authenticity. He valued his handmade rowing skiff and loved the sight of the leaves changing colors, but most of all, he valued family and friends. He always looked forward to the weekends he got to spend up north with his family, and some would say that he was the definition of an outdoorsman. In fact, my parents tell me that he would barely come inside up at the cottage. He had very close, lifelong bonds with a small number of friends and family, many of who are watching today and attend this award ceremony year after year. It makes me sad that I never got to meet him, as I've heard so many good things about him, but I'm happy I get to remember him every day from little things, like using the branded towels that he got because he worked for a grocery store chain. When my grandfather became a patient at Princess Margaret, he was amazed at the care he received and the dedication of the staff. It was important to him that our family could find a way to recognize the commitment of all levels of staff to their patients. And he really meant all levels of staff. Everyone takes pride in their work, no matter the role at the hospital. The staff at Princess Margaret always seem to be able to do their work with a smile on their face and compassion for their patients and their families, even when it isn't easy to do so. They hold hands when the news is painful, and they're there when patients and their families need them, often going way above and way beyond what anyone would expect. My grandfather saw that he was seen as a person, not just a patient. As I saw from reading the nominations, many other patients felt this way too. My grandfather knew that this compassionate care was as important, often more important than technical skill. For example, my mom told me about the caregiver that came to change my grandfather's sheets. He couldn't get out of bed, but the man would be really gentle and took his time making sure he was comfortable. My grandfather was very clear about what he wanted these awards to be about, and our family is so happy that he was involved in the discussions about the award that bears his name. Every year, we are honored that Princess Margaret patients and family take a great deal of time and effort to submit the nominations for the people that make a huge difference for them during their cancer journey. This year, we received 14 nominations. The nominations describe the immense difference that care and compassion make. They talk about the long hours, dedication, and expertise of the staff, nurses, and doctors of Princess Margaret. They talk about selflessness and warmth, far beyond what anyone should expect from people who deal with life and death challenges every day. And they talk about the love and the hope that these caregivers instill in patients and their families. I think that the care that these staff provide is really captured by this quote written by a patient's spouse about one of the nominees. Bathing, repositioning, skincare, and bathroom procedures were done with a gentleness and caring attitude that could be only matched by myself. Many families have faced cancer at Princess Margaret since my parents and the family dealt with my grandfather's illness. We are proud that these awards have continued for over 20 years and that they still have meaning for the staff, the patients, and their families, no matter what role they play in helping patients and families who need support during challenging times. And so, on behalf of my entire family, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to our friends and family who support this event and honor the memory of my grandfather. Thank you to the amazing patients and families who have shared their stories and have recognized their caregivers. And thank you to the people who helped make Princess Margaret a better place. And above all today, thank you and congratulations to this year's nominees and winners of the Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Awards.
Thank you, Erin. That was fantastic. And if we were all together, you would see everybody smiling and beaming and kvelling. Kvelling's a Yiddish word which means bursting with pride, for those of you who don't know. But it's a good one, and I think it expresses how everybody feels. Thank you, Erin. And you did a beautiful job describing your grandfather. And I do want to say, we are missing our wonderful new foundation CEO this afternoon. I hope you all get a chance to meet her soon. Her name is Mio Yamashita. She unfortunately had a family issue she needed to deal with, and she emailed the Kirshes today, and Joel immediately got back with an email saying his father would never, ever want somebody to put anything above family. So I think this is all in the spirit of your grandfather and father and husband, Gerald Kirsh, and thank you again to the family. And now it is my honor to recognize the 2021 Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award nominees, and I hope I pronounce everybody's name correctly. I'm going to do my best. Okay. Cue the slides. Thanks, Raf. Here we go. Jesse Abed, radiation therapist. You can clap at home. Marisona Almazan, administrative assistant, medical oncology. Dr. John De Almeida, head and neck surgical oncologist. Dr. Bernard Cummings, radiation oncologist. I think he's a frequent flyer, Dr. Cummings. Julia Dong, registered nurse, clinical research coordinator. Isabel Vergara Hugo, patient screener. Joanna Javor, clinical specialist, radiation therapy. Stephanie Candell, clinical assistant to Dr. Ralph Gilbert and Dr. Pat Goulet. Dr. Dennis Kim, staff physician, Department of Medical Oncology and Hematology. Dr. Mark Minden, staff physician, hematology. Kush Ninenwat, patient flow coordinator, breast clinic. Melanie Robson, palliative radiation therapy coordinator. Dr. Lillian Su, senior medical oncologist. Sabrina Stager, administrative assistant, medical oncology. Dwayne Williams, unit clerk for 17A and 17B, medical radiation oncology. Carolyn Wong, registered nurse, acute palliative oncology.
Dr. Wong?
Congratulations to all the nominees. And I just want to say, I think it's remarkable that given COVID and all the restrictions and difficulties, that we have such a plethora of nominees. And I think, again, that is a tribute to the incredible people in our cancer center. We're so proud to support them. All righty. Our first award recipient, and this year I have the honor of naming 3 award recipients. Before I announce the first award recipient, I would like to share a few of the comments included in the nominations for this individual. The surgery needed to be done by Dr. Ralph Gilbert and Dr. Shav Kashabji, the best of the best. Communication and scheduling were required from the 2 very busy departments with very different clinic days. It was a logistical nightmare, or so I thought. Early on, this individual stepped into the breach for us. Her mission statement in life must read, "How can I help?" She recognized how frustrated I was feeling trying to navigate 2 different surgeons' offices and took care of everything for me. She demonstrated great compassion and teamwork, not to mention unwavering stewardship. Second quote, she brings her A game to her job every day. She left no stone unturned for us during her cancer journey. We were scared and so lost navigating the system, and she took us by the hand, offered us comfort, and showed us the way to go. We often overlook the people in these critical support positions. I just wanted them to know that she made a significant difference in my life, answering my barrage of phone calls and emails. Read 2 more quick excerpts. This individual shows a willingness to be as helpful as possible, to see that my concerns are looked after immediately. In some cases, she has scheduled me for an appointment the next day. She regularly does a follow-up to make sure all worked as scheduled. I always feel that this individual does her utmost to look after my needs. It is a wonderful feeling when one is facing surgery to know that someone does her best to make the experience run as smoothly as possible. I am very pleased to announce the first recipient of the 2021 Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Awards, Stephanie Candell. Stephanie works for both Dr. Pat Gillane and Dr. Ralph Gilbert in the Department of Otolaryngology, Head and Neck Surgery, as an administrative assistant. And, I know both these doctors, and Stephanie, you deserve an award. I'm sure they would both agree.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sherry. I appreciate it.
Let's
I don't have a camera on my computer.
Oh, no problem. Go for it.
But I do have just a little short speech prepared, if that's okay. Thank you very much. I would very much like to thank the Kirsh family and the selection committee for bestowing the very prestigious Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award to me. This is just so meaningful to me and something I will cherish forever. And during the global pandemic, even more meaningful, as the world is in a state that our generation has never seen before. And I'm thrilled to be able to do my part. I'd also like to congratulate my fellow nominees. I'm in very good company. I'd also like to thank my 2 nominators, Suzanne and Gerald, and Darlene and Clayton, for nominating me. It is a pleasure to be able to assist you all, and thank you so much for nominating me. I can't thank you enough. I've met Darlene and Clayton many times, and I hope to meet Suzanne and Gerald the next time you both come to Toronto. It would be an honor for me to meet you both. I'd also like to acknowledge my wonderful department, the Department of Otolaryngology and Head and Neck Surgery. I also work for Dr. Patrick Gillane, who hired me over 30 years ago. I walked into his office one November day and I never looked back. I feel incredibly honored to be able to be a part of this department of world-class surgeons who inspire me every day. Their humanity, dedication, and skills they have to look after cancer patients is something not everyone has the opportunity to see every day. And I thank my lucky stars. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my coworkers and thank them as well, who support me, and we have a great team. And also a thank you to my family and friends who joined the ceremony virtually today and for supporting me. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Congratulations, Stephanie. If we were in person, everybody would be standing up and clapping for you.
Oh, thank you. That's lovely. Thank you so much.
And we in the foundation know how fabulous you are in terms of scheduling and how you do things magically. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay. As with the first recipient, I would like to share a story as part of the nomination for our second award winner. And here's a few excerpts from the nominations. When I first met this individual upon my diagnosis of AML in May 2017, I immediately sensed what an exceptional and exemplary doctor he is. Over the past 4 years, he has continually demonstrated the 5 core values that make him an excellent candidate for the Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award. Many times I've asked questions that I was afraid to hear the answers to, but no matter what the answer, he has a way of answering so that I feel reassured once I hear his response. I emailed him during a bad bout with the flu. He responded to me with not only his own thoughts, but also a suggestion from an infectious disease doctor who he had conferred with. This honesty and willingness to work as a team and learn from others demonstrates his integrity. His devotion to his lab and ongoing scientific research has been steadfast. While volunteering my time at a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society of Canada event, several well-regarded doctors and scientists made presentations that referred to his research, and his name was always said with much admiration. I felt so proud, so honored, and so fortunate to have come into his care. His ability to just show up epitomizes his care, whether it be in the ER on a Friday night or in the transfusion clinic late in the day, or for a quick checkup on a holiday Monday, or his timely responses to emails. He shows up, he is present, and he is there to provide care, expertise, professionalism, and compassion. And I'll add one more example of my own. Years and years ago, I had a friend who had a young daughter who was about 18, who had been taken to Sunnybrook with leukemia, and I emailed this person at about 6:30 in the morning, and he got back to me with an answer, and he also offered to speak to my friend, the patient's mother, if she needed to talk to someone. Like, that is true compassion. Congratulations to our second award recipient, Dr. Mark Minden. Dr. Minden studied medicine at the University of Toronto, graduating in 1974. He was 12. Just kidding. He undertook a PhD.
I was alone with him for 30 minutes.
You should have a
And
reason.
he goes, how old are
He undertook a PhD with Dr. Ernest McCullough at the Ontario Cancer Institute, where he was involved in early studies to grow acute myeloid leukemia cells in tissue culture. Upon completion of the PhD in 1979, he moved to Boston and studied at the Sidney Farber Cancer Institute and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. He began his career as a clinician scientist, and his own laboratory was dedicated to the study of leukemia. Clinically, he became involved in treating patients with acute myeloid and lymphoblastic leukemia, chronic myeloid leukemia, and the early allogeneic bone marrow transplant program at the Princess Margaret. My brain cells are still they're being restored after my hiatus. So thank you. This is kickstarting everything. Over the years, Dr. Minden has had a number of roles in the Princess Margaret University Health Network organization, including head of Leukemia Site Group, member and chair of Pharmacy Therapeutics Committee, member of the Medical Advisory Committee, and member of the Electronic Medical Record Committee. Dr. Minden was named the first holder of the Orsino Chair in Leukemia Research. I have one more little bit to read, then we hear from Dr. Minden. In July of 2021, Dr. Minden retired from clinical practice. Currently, he is an emeritus clinician scientist. He continues to carry out research in the area of leukemia and collaborates with colleagues here at the Princess Margaret and around the world. In his retirement, he plans on continuing to bike and kayak, printing photographs he has taken over the years, and spending more time with his wonderful family. Dr. Minden.
Sherry, thank you. I'd like to echo Stephanie's comments about thanking the Kirsh family and the committee, and to Mary Dooley, who nominated me for this award. Over the years, I have learned a lot about the humanity and humility of medicine from staff, family, and patients. Oh, can you hear me? Now you can hear me. Should I start over? I'll start over. Okay, I'd like to echo Stephanie's thank you to the Kirsh family and the committee, and to Mary Dooley, who nominated me for this award. Over the years, I've learned a lot about the humanity and humility of medicine from staff, family, and patients. In the mid-1970s, I spent a month at the hospital in Churchill, Manitoba as a medical resident. There I met a young Inuit woman. When I asked her what her name was, she responded, "I don't have a name. I'm a number, a treaty number." That effect has been lasting. Years later, another patient at the opposite end of the spectrum, a very successful business person who gave of their time and money, had on their memorial card the prayer of St. Ignatius Loyola. Here's a version I've modified that speaks of the humanitarianism of the Kirsh recognition. God, Allah, Adonai, Brahman, and recognizing the people of Turtle Island, on whose land we live, Gitche Manitou. Teach me to be generous, to give and not to count the cost, to fight for others and not to heed the wounds, to toil, not seeking rest, to labor, knowing that your will for all is being done. Thank you for this recognition, which really belongs to the many wonderful, like-minded and supportive people with whom I have had the privilege to work over many years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. You are, as always, overly modest and totally deserving of this award. All right, our third and final Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award recipient. Here are a few words from the nominations. My late wife was in the palliative care ward for 20 days. During that time, I stayed at her bedside for 24 hours a day. All of the personnel that I encountered at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre were helpful and compassionate. This individual, however, was like an angel. Her compassion was extraordinary. She did everything in her power and or ability to help my wife be as comfortable as possible. She explained in detail what my wife was experiencing, what she could expect, and why. And now I'm going to read the quote that Erin read. Not as well as Erin, probably. Bathing, repositioning, skincare, and bathroom procedures were done with a gentleness and caring attitude that could only be matched by myself. She was also compassionate, sympathetic, resourceful, and informative to a degree that I knew that my wife was getting the best possible care when she was assigned to her. Congratulations to Carolyn Wong, our third 2021 Gerald Kirsh Humanitarian Award recipient. Carolyn Wong is a registered nurse working on the palliative care unit at Princess Margaret Cancer Centre, who recently earned her Canadian Hospice Palliative Care certification. Congratulations, Carolyn. She completed her first degree in gerontology at McMaster University in 2014, and then in 2018 from Nipissing University with a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing. It was during the second year of Carolyn's nursing degree that she experienced the profound loss of her mother, Patrice, to cancer, who had been a pediatric ICU nurse herself. She hopes to use this experience to improve access to early palliative care and to ensure the dignity, comfort, and quality of life for each patient she meets. Carolyn, please join us and say a few words.
Thank you so much, Sherry. Wow, I'd first like to say thank you to Stephen for nominating me for this award. It means so much that I could offer even a little bit of support and comfort to you, Stephanie, and to Fiorenza during her last few weeks of life. You cared for her so deeply and I could feel that each time that I stepped into the room. I'll always remember how you stayed by her side, both day and night. And when she needed it most, you were there to calm her with gentle touch and reassuring words. It was an absolute privilege to witness such a love and a privilege to care for your wife. I'd also like to thank the Kirsh family as well for selecting me as one of the recipients this year. I'm incredibly honored that you feel the work that I do is worthy of this level of recognition. As someone who's relatively new in their nursing career, it really inspires me to continue to work hard to bring comfort, security, and joy to each person and family member that I meet. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge my mom, Patrice, who could not be with us today, but who I witnessed receive incredible palliative care from nurses, doctors, volunteers, PSWs, and so many other healthcare providers. Death and dying is inevitable, and I can only hope to make it a little bit easier for those journeying through and for those that are left behind. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. You clearly have a brilliant career ahead of you, and your mom is certainly smiling. But before I close, I'm reading from my phone. I wanted to read a quote. On the side, I'm a yoga teacher, as some of you know, and I love a good quote and a good theme. And in preparing for these awards, I was thinking about the word compassion, which has come up a lot. And when I consulted Google, everybody's first resource, it said, compassion literally means to suffer together. Among emotion researchers, it is defined as the feeling that arises when you are confronted with another's suffering and feel motivated to relieve that suffering. To me, that perfectly captures the motivation of all our recipients and nominees today. I want to congratulate our 3 award recipients, Stephanie Kandel, Dr. Mark Minden, Carolyn Wong, and I want to congratulate all the nominees and thank you for what you do for our patients and family members every single day. We are so proud to work to support you. And finally, our wonderful Kirsh family, thank you so much. It has been my absolute joy to host this afternoon, and we will look forward to seeing you all next year. Thank you all. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.